So, Tom, you said recently that you believe Democratic lawmakers need to basically submit a list of demands to the president and the Republicans and not budge from it because you're saying President Trump won't stick to a position and let that play out. He's not a fair negotiator. What are a couple of those points, and how will it affect this infrastructure plan?
Well, let's start with the whole idea of rebuilding America. You know, I think there's a sense that if we spend a lot of money, that the spending of money in and of itself is a good thing because it creates jobs and, you know, it basically gets the economy going. But the truth of the matter is that as an investor, I know that infrastructure is just another word for investment. And so making an investment in and of itself isn't a good thing. What's a good thing is smart investment, the kinds of things that actually move the country forward and let us all prosper. So when I think about what we should be talking about, we know we have to make investments in infrastructure that will be profitable and prosperity creating for a long period of time. So I know for a fact that if we're going to do it, it's got to be sustainable. We've got to build the clean infrastructure that will let this country compete successfully for decades to come and be the source of innovation and job creation that we've always been.
So give us a couple of specifics. What are two things that you think would push us in that direction?
Well, I think one of the big questions in the United States is going to be how we generate and use electricity. So for one thing, we should definitely be rebuilding the electric grid around the country to make sure that it's very adaptable and that we can move electricity around the country really well, and that we can use clean energy from different parts and ship it to other parts of the country. So that's one thing we need. I think another thing that we definitely need is we need to connect this country economically in the way that the highway system did in the 1950s. And that means people have to be connected through broadband, that basically every community in this country needs to be connected to the Silicon Valleys and the New Yorks and the Chicagos and the Austin, Texases, so that everybody has a chance to be hooked into the growth and they're not cut off and separated and isolated.
Tom, I want to dig into this idea of infrastructure investment a little bit more, because given the fact that you do have a history in alternative investing, private equity, banking, and sort of looking at this, I guess, blueprint, you could say, we have from the administration that shows a streamlining of the regulatory process and thus cutting down time it would take for a new project to be sort of brought online. It looks like there's more possible alternatives for financing. And then, of course, you put that on top of what's a lower tax base. Doesn't that actually sound like a pretty good return on investment for a lot of private guys that maybe otherwise wouldn't be stepping in here?
Well, let's just unpack what you just said. Getting rid of environmental protections that ensure people's health and longevity, is that a good investment? To get rid of it so that people can build things that pollute and make people dangerous. That doesn't sound like a good investment to me. I mean, all the, lowering tax rates on corporations so that their bottom lines are bigger, but in fact, so that we take money away from the government so that normal programs are going to have to be slashed over decades to come. That doesn't sound like a smart idea to me. So when I think about something, I really think we should be taking a longer view. We should be betting on the American people, and we should be asking ourselves what really creates prosperity in America. And to me, what really creates prosperity in America is the productivity and success of the American people. So everything that I do would be based on the idea, how do I make Americans successful?
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.